we are at Sharkarosa Wildlife Ranch in Pilot Point, Texas. We're getting ready to take a little tour by the owner, Scott Edwards. He's going to give us a little personalized information on all these animals and how this works, and the intern program and the summer camps. And this is fantastic. This place is amazing. I can't wait to go inside and play with all the animals. So come on in with me and let's go check the digs out. So everybody, while you're waiting for your table, we hope you enjoy this video. You're going to see lots of fun things. We've got petting zoo, we've got bears, we've got snakes, lemurs, you name it. And we got a crazy guy over here who does all this stuff. So walking through Sharkarosa, the first thing you're going to encounter are these beautiful Clydesdale horses and a camel, a very friendly camel. And then you have the photo booth where you can hold all these fabulous animals, kangaroos, lemurs.
Red kangaroos are the largest kangaroos in the world, and they are marsupials. His name is Rio.
You said they're from Australia?
Yes, they're from Australia. They have a pouch except for the males. The males do not have a pouch. The females have a pouch to carry their young. So they want to keep it nice and clean. And their natural predator is the dingo in Australia.
Is it like a dog?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So what they do is they use their powerful legs to kick, so they lean on the last 2 inches of their tail, and they bring in their arms and spring forward and kick.
Oh, wow.
And one kick can dissect a dingo, so when he gets big, he can defend himself pretty well.
Oh my gosh, one kick can dissect a dingo.
Yep.
Wow. And how old is this one?
He's about, I want to say 10 or 11 months old.
Oh, so
when they're born, they're the size of a jelly bean. They have no hair, no eyesight, no hearing, and no back legs. So these back legs they have on them aren't even there when they're born. They develop them later. So the mother licks a milk trail into the pouch. The baby climbs into the pouch, and it's like a human baby crawling the length of a football field for its first meal.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And so they stay in the pouch for about 9 months, and then they become a heel joey. So the heel joey hops alongside mom and comes back for feeding time.
Oh wow. So cute. Oh, I guess I get to hold him.
I see.
Like a baby.
Yep, like a little baby.
I have 6 nieces and 7 nieces and nephews, so there you go.
Yep, he's just like a little baby.
Look at that boy. How cute. A little area where you can eat, picnic, whatever. They have a show that you can watch about snakes and other miscellaneous animals, learn all about them and how dangerous or friendly they are. Then you have another camel out there and some kangaroos and all kinds of animals out there. And then there is the petting zoo. There's a pig in there and there's some deer, all kinds of fun animals for the kids. And then you have the lemur cage. Those are fun to watch. All kinds of activity going on in there. And
left to the side, you'll see Darby and Bear. Those are other hybrid wild thing. Wild thing is our Zorse, and Chaos is our Zedon. You got some on this side, you got some on the other side. One in particular, he is our only male zebra, and he's got a very unique name. Week-old baby zebra laying down. Oh, she's being photo shy right now. And they're going
so little. First one.
right now he's on the right hand side. Now, if you notice, Kim's ladies who does that around, she might want to give him your number. Oh, and he is a big flirt. Now, Kim's have a good name. Trust me, I know this from these names.
Get the one with the white eyes.
The reason for his white eyes is because he's a painted. Just like you saw Heidi in the horse special, she had the eyes too. That's also because she's a painted horse. But Thirsty around here, he knows how, he's smarter than you think. They can be trained. Get that right.
Come here, look
If you see them laying down with all four legs underneath them, we call that cushing. It's like if you want to take them to like a vid or something, like for educational purposes. And if you want them in the trailer, we'd be able to cush, which means they'll be more comfortable in that trailer, and less chance of harm. So that's the best way to support them.
So we are right here with Scott Edwards. We're about to watch him tempt the bears with his very life.
Using my bare hands
And milk bones.
and pepper bear show. Wish me luck. Wake up! Wake up, pretty girl. Oh, come on, come on. Don't look me up, but I think there's a bear following me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Scott Edwards from Sharkarosa Wildlife Ranch. I'm the owner and founder of the ranch and also the restaurant. This is a very good friend of mine. Barnaby saw that a baby bear was running loose in Corinth, Texas. Well, that was a bear that was illegally taken from the wild. Somebody brought it home as a pet. It was just a cub. That bear now has a great new home at the International Exotic Sanctuary. Well, I got some peppermints here. You ready? So we rescue over 100 animals here every year. 100 bears have a 7,000 square foot play area and can live into their 20s in captivity. Now, these are truly amazing animals. They can run faster than a horse, swim 20 miles in open water, and climb a tree faster than we can run. So if you see a bear in the wild, what are you going to do? Yeah, all you got to do is run faster than the person next to you, and you can trip them if you have to. How's that? Actually, they're big scaredy cats. Appear bigger than you are, make a lot of noise, and they're going to take off. Should you ever come in confrontation with a bear, it's 8 times more likely it will be a black bear. And so their nose is very tender. When Barnaby was just a baby, he was always in trouble. And we'd go, no, Barnaby, and we'd thump that nose. Well, when he got older, he was so smart, he knew when he did something wrong, and so he'd immediately stand up and put his paw over his nose so we couldn't hit it. He's smarter than the average bear.
Got your company.
Uh-oh. Somebody's going to get all the peppermints. You don't hurry up. Hey, you know how you catch a bear? You set up a barricade. I will do some tricks. Sit. Hey, sit. Pretty. Up. Up. No. Up. Up. Come on. Up. Come on. You can do it. Come on. There we go. Walk. Walk. Walk.
Everybody in Leavenworth, Texas. I'm sitting here with Scott Edwards, the owner of Sharkarosa Wildlife Ranch. He is going to blow you away with some of the stuff he's got going on over here. He has a lot of sponsors that help him out here at the ranch, Leavenworth being very big. Tell me about that.
Well, the love and war marriage came. I have a love for country music. I run with people like Aaron Tippin, Mark David Manders, Neil McCoy, and so I naturally started going there for Texas country music. The owner, Ty and Tori Phelps, we became really good friends, and I said, "What can we do for you? We want to support you. Your wildlife, and we're into that." So it turned into a really, really good relationship. We brand the restaurants. They've got one in Grapevine and one in Plano. Fabulous country music, just every night of the week. The food is Texas cuisine. I mean, the food's awesome. I'm down there usually on Sundays at Shiner Sundays in Plano, and on Fridays I'm in the Grapevine store. The Grapevine's great because it's all tourists. We love to meet new people, and it's like you have the regulars at the Plano store. So I want to thank them because they've been fabulous sponsors, and Courtney too. And without people like that behind us, we can't do the things that we do. And so it's just so important to have other people believe in you.
Ask questions of this guy. What's going on at Sharkarosa? Bears, lemurs, snakes. Talk to me about it.
Scared already.
How long have you been around? What's going on here?
Well, the Sharkarosa, Lisa, came about in 2003. We started doing programs for the public, and in 2005 we got our nonprofit, our 501c3, and from there on out it's just exponentially grown every year to now we're doing about 100,000 people a year through here, filming TV shows and movies. We do off-site work with wounded warriors, terminally ill children, mentally and physically handicapped youth and adults. So we're just kind of a broad spectrum. We specialize obviously in rare and endangered species, but we use those to do programs for the public and needy children and warriors, whatever the case may be.
Earlier we were talking about animals open doors. Tell me about that.
Well, I think my famous quote is, you can put an animal in a 2-year-old's hand or an 80-year-old's hand and get the same response. And there's nothing on this planet that you can do that with. You know, I mean, there's nothing that crosses age and race and gender and economic structure other than an animal. So that's, the animals open a lot of doors. You know, I mean, I equate it to, you know, Julia Roberts or Tom Cruise. You know, I mean, they can walk in anywhere. I can walk in anywhere with a little cute kangaroo in a pouch, or, you know, a lemur tucked under my hair, you know. I mean, so yeah, working with the animals is an opportunity. I mean, it's, you know, I'm honored to share the stage and do things with them. I've done programs, you know, for Jack Hanna. We've toured the United States doing animal shows. We do shows here every day. So they're a great ambassador to everything.
I saw you do a bear show earlier where you were feeding them peppermints.
Yeah, it was
Kids loved it.
It was very funny.
It was barely there. No, I'm just kidding.
It wasn't unbearable, was it?
It was actually very cool.
Okay, because I was a little bit embarrassed about it, but now not so much.
Milk buns and peppermints. But he is educating children on how to react when they come into a situation where there might be a bear or a snake. They have a little stage down there where they talk about what happens if you encounter a snake, and that's also very educational for the kids' family. There's portraits. Tell me about that. What do they get to take pictures of?
Well, it depends on what babies that we have, Lisa. You know, we constantly breed rare and endangered species, so they go to other facilities because these animals are becoming extinct in the wild. And what that means is the animals aren't necessarily disappearing, it's the habitat. And so as we grow and expand and industrialize, the rainforest gets chopped down, the islands get polluted, the trees, you know, go down. So what we do is we breed these animals, whatever we have. Right now we've got red ruff lemur babies, we've got black and white ruff lemur babies, we've got kangaroo babies, we've got a complete reptile selection, should you want your picture made with a snake, as you did earlier.
I did. It was awesome.
And I think that's about it. I think that's all we have in the photo booth right now.
But you have babies elsewhere, like you have a little safari area where you can take a train around, which we did that earlier. It was very cool. You got to see the animals up close. I think you had an emu. Is that how you say it? Emu? Mm-hmm. And the zebra. Oh my gosh, they have a 2-week-old zebra. Tell me about that.
Lots of zebra babies. These are Grant zebras, the only zebra in the world. The stripes go all the way around their body. They're the most recognized zebra, the ones you see in Africa running the big herds. And we have an excellent breeding program for zebras. I believe there's like 3 babies back there right now, but we have a really little itty bitty one. And the cool story about that is we never really planned on breeding zebras. The male was a rescue. I think it was 4 years ago. They had the wildfires it was west of here, Sunset, Texas or something is what it was called. There was a male and female zebra, and the wildfires pushed them up into someone's backyard. People couldn't catch them. They'd left them on this huge ranch. There's a group of horse enthusiasts that tried to catch them, and they actually killed the female, and then they called me, and we went out and sedated. Spot is the male's name. And we brought him here, and he's been happy ever since. He's got all kinds of women to run around with and making babies. Who wouldn't be happy?
Yeah, right? So what was the first animal you had out?
First animal I started with, I get this question all the time, was a Clydesdale and a monkey.
A monkey?
Yeah, it was a little Java macaque monkey. It wasn't anything that we have today, but...
So the Clydesdale is still here? Yes?
Yes, Clydesdale. You fed the Clydesdale probably. It's
yes.
Great. It's down there.
Awesome. And camels?
Camels?
Yeah. There's one with some funny looking eyes.
Oh, blue-eyed camels, the world's only painted camels.
Yes.
Very rare. Super, super docile animal. So rugged. I mean, great, smart. I mean, we use camels for nativity scenes and movie shoots, and you know, they're hard to see in the pasture. You know why? Well, because they're always wearing camouflage.
Oh my gosh, this guy. So tell me about the Wounded Warrior program. That's really, you know, our warriors, our soldiers have done so much for us. How are you giving back?
Phenomenal program, and I got to tell you, I was a coward. I was scared to death. I filmed a show with a gentleman called Aaron Tippin about 4 years ago. He's a country music singer. He said, Scott, you got to do this work with me. You got to come with me. We got to do this. He says, I've flown all over the world, you know, doing programs, and I'm doing stuff here. He introduced me to another gentleman, the head of Halo organization, which is Dana Bowman. He was the Golden Knight, if you remember. It was about 10 years ago. 2 parachutists collided at an air show, and one died, the other lost both his legs. That was Dana. Double amputee. He's a helicopter instructor. He swims. He runs marathons. Phenomenal. So they drugged me kicking and screaming because I was scared to death. I didn't know what to say to these guys. And it turns out that I didn't have to say anything. I walk out of there with more than they have. They're phenomenal people. They have, for the most part, great attitudes. And we do some incredible things together. And then I've transitioned kind of from that to doing one-on-one mentoring. And so now I'm in a little different area. These are the guys that aren't really well adapted, aren't really wanting to go out, have come back with PTSD, just having a hard time visualizing back in our society from where they came from. And of course I wasn't in the armed forces, but I've heard all the stories. And I mean, one of the warriors I worked with had 53 confirmed kills in 2 tours. So it's actually more kills than Chris Kyle in a shorter period of time. Wound up losing his best friend, carrying him on his back for 3 miles until he bled out, got shot twice himself, died on the battlefield, woke up 2 weeks later in Frankfurt, Germany in a hospital. So just phenomenal stories.
On the other end of that, you have kids. I hear you have an intern program and a summer camp.
We do. We do a lot for children. We have everything here from the young. We have an intern programship that's on-site and off-site. So these are usually high school graduates or college graduates that come to us, and they want some actual experience with animals. So we're an excellent facility for that because we have such a diversity of animals here. We've got the cats, we've got bear cats, we have bobcats, we have bears, we have reptiles, we have zebras, we have camels, kangaroos. So it's really a good diversity for them to be able to get a job out in the marketplace, with a lot of experience with different things.
Your summer camp.
Well, we actually host a lot of summer camps for other people having summer camps, so they come out for a day and spend a day here. We do our own summer camp, and that is comprised of course, the same thing that they use on a lower basis, and then I'm a sedation and capture expert. So what that means is we use everything from net guns to sedation rifles. I work for the county sheriff's office, of course, for our county, and then unofficially for a couple other counties. And so we go over, basic capture and restraints, and how to control an animal. And one of the programs I do is I give them all little pieces of rope and show them how to tie each other up. So when we dart something, you can tie its feet all together. So that's one of their favorites.
And so that is great for us when we find a bear in our yard. What happens? We call you, or the city calls you, or I noticed you had a bear here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, let's take an actual case.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
A week and a half ago, there was the gentleman tried to re-release it, so he says, couldn't find the mother to come back. He accidentally trapped the bear. So he brings it back into the city. It's in here 4 days, and he has it in a chicken coop. Of course, bears are super strong, super powerful. The bear gets out of the coop and was wandering down the street, and somebody sees it and calls in and says there's a bear. Of course, nobody believes it. But after a few calls, it turned out it was. So they put us immediately on standby until they can confirm. Then they release us, which is me. So tranquilizer gun, sedation darts, whatever I think I might need. I knew it was a baby, so we didn't travel very heavy, but I was 10 minutes out from the call. It was in Corinth, and one of my guys that I trained, worked for the sheriff's department, captured the bear. And he said, I got it, Scott, let's go back to the ranch. We take it back here. We assess the bear, make sure it's not injured. Of course, these animals from the wild, even though it's a cute baby bear, I mean, it could have rabies. There's no telling what. Where this bear came from. What its demeanor is. At this point, we don't know the whole story. So we make sure it's hydrated. We check it all over. Doesn't need any medical treatment. It came from the wild, so it's fairly healthy. And the next job is to find a home. It's acquisition and disposition. And so so we find a local facility that specializes in bears, and they take it. And I have 2 black bears that we couldn't get rid of that we tried, and they're Barnaby and Bailey. I think you met them earlier.
Yes,
so
yes.
Those are it's not always a super happy ending, because if we can't find a home and we can't take it, then the animal gets put down. And thankfully that rarely happens. But it's just all about public support and people believing in what we do.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've got pizza and snow cones and all kinds of stuff going on out there with the kids, and I love the snow cones. I had a dreamsicle.
She had an orange tongue earlier. Just saying.
And I came out and had a little fun.
It's a little embarrassing.
So the season that you're open for families, tell me about that. It goes from March to
the end of November.
Okay.
But you can do a private tour anytime.
Oh.
We're always open if you want to bring your family out or your group. And then we just do the public thing on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. And what's your website name?
Sharkarosa.com and bearsdentexas.com.
Where did Sharkarosa come from?
Oh my goodness, I haven't answered that. All right, one more time. The ranch was originally Sharky's Ranch, part of a corporation that I had in construction and development called Sharky's Group. In 2003, we opened it to the public, and so we had to form a nonprofit, which actually came about in 2005, but we had to have a new name. And so we took Sharky's from Sharky's Ranch and the Rosa from the Bonanza TV show, the Ponderosa, and came up with Sharkarosa. Okay. And so just like the Sharkarosa overlooks Lake Ray Roberts, the Ponderosa overlooked Lake Tahoe, so it's kind of
similar. Enjoy your time at Leavenmore and have fun at the video and come out and see us. So for more information, visit sharkarosa.com or on Facebook, Sharkarosa Wildlife Ranch.